Hello everyone, my name is Jana and welcome to our Fingerboard podcast called Switchcraft. This time we renamed ourselves from previously Fingersized. Last week we announced that we're going to do a small poll, but we discovered something.
Yeah, guys, what's the crack? First Benny here. What we discovered last time, we wanted to do this poll to let you choose what name should we go for. We wanted to give away a few goodies. After we wrapped up the last episode, somebody followed me on Instagram with the name Twisted Fingers, so that was out of the window. So we decided to skip all that. There will be a raffle or something in the future, so no worries. But for this time, we just went for Switchcraft, and that's pretty much it. So it's from Switchcraft episode number 4 today.
And we also have a new logo, which you hopefully see. And yeah, we hope to improve further in the future, but let's jump into the episode. This time we also have a guest, like last week. This time we have Onkel here.
Hi.
He's a local from the Berlin scene, but he's most famous for his reviews, and he usually writes them on a forum called
The FFI forum or Finger Flip Inc.
Yeah, and most of you probably have seen or read his reviews previously, and we just wanted to sit down with him and talk about fingerboarding and about the reviews and about stuff in general. So let's jump in. So I think the first question is, how did you get into fingerboarding in the first place?
So back in the days when I was like 14, around 14 I think, I was pretty into skateboarding, like a dang hard young boy skateboarding. And in my village where I grew up, there was a boarding school. And every time after the summer break, like on the last day of the summer break, I went to the boarding school with a friend of mine, and we, sounds kind of weird, but we took a look on the new kids, which got fresh to the boarding school. And there was one kid, I think it was in 2008 or 2009, and he was fingerboarding. And he was like, yo, everything you can do on your skateboard, I can do that with my fingers. And like the first week I was more or less like making fun of it. But then he realized that I'm actually quite curious about it. And one day in school, he just stand in front of me and gave me a fingerboard and told me something like, yeah, if you still enjoy it in 2 weeks, keep the fingerboard. If not, just give it to me or give it back. Yeah, and that's how I became super addicted to it.
What was the board?
What?
What was the board? Was it
It
Tech
was
Deck or something?
He gave me a tech deck, but like 2 weeks later he gave me a wooden deck. I don't know which.
Cool.
I have no clue which which brand it is or was, but it was just tech deck trucks and dump wheels, but without bearings, but still with foam tape on top. So I basically had like let's call it like easier start than others.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, definitely.
I discovered foam tapes 6-7 years into fingerboarding.
Yeah, for me also quite a few years into it. And how did you get into the Berlin scene? Like, how long have you been in Berlin? You aren't from around here originally, right?
Yeah. There's another benefit I have of meeting this guy. So some of you might know him. He's called Jan Ole. So shoutouts on Jan Ole. And he was already known like we are today, let's say like this.
Mm-hmm.
And so basically I started fingerboarding, and like half year later I met all my heroes. Like I met all of them, like Elias Asmuth and the Dirty Harry. I think the first time when I went to Berlin, I already stayed at TKY's apartment and stuff.
That's crazy.
And stuff. And because my friend just took me everywhere. And I think even after 1 month of fingerboarding, I was in a contest. Yeah. It was called Wikinger Cup. Yeah, never mind. But
How did that go?
Wikinger Cup.
Yeah, how was that for
I
you?
was last, but Raul Jürgensen won that contest actually.
Oh, yeah.
So I also know Raul for a pretty long time. Yeah. But yeah, I basically knew TKY before I moved to Berlin, and I also already knew a lot of people in Berlin. So yeah, I basically just went to the store and was like, "Yo, Timo, I live in Berlin now," and he was like, "Nice, that's good."
Cool. And how long ago has that been? Like when was the time frame when when Jan Ole gave you the tech deck?
Like how long it was like 2009, 2000. I think it was in the beginning of 2000. No, in the summer of 2008 or 2000. I think it's 2009. Yeah.
Cool. So
10-ish
been
years.
it's been quite a lot.
Yeah, it's almost 10 years. I'm looking forward for the 10th year because then I'm gonna quit. No.
Alright, that's it.
And what did get you into writing reviews? Because that isn't the thing that is like very natural to a lot of people. And a lot of people start, once they get more involved in the scene, they usually create their own decks or film. So what made you document stuff and write about it?
So in the first place, I always enjoyed to talk about certain stuff, and yeah, I already did like videos back in the days, and then there was a time where I had a separate YouTube channel where it was called like the Fingerboard Pro View, where I thought like, hey, I will do nice shots with good lighting and do an overvoice and stuff. So basically something like you could see on my Instagram TV right now, I think. And yeah, so I don't know what exactly was the point where I thought, hey, I do reviews and stuff. I actually can't really remember, but I know there was a certain time where I realized I actually like to write stuff down and my opinions about it, and at this time I already was quite involved into taking pictures, so I think that's how it came.
Do you remember what your first review was? Or
like
one of the first?
The very first one? Like
The first one you published, or... Yeah.
I could take a look on YouTube, I guess.
Please stand by while we're searching on YouTube.
Yeah.
We'll probably put that in the show
I
notes.
I know my very first review on this ProView channel. I think it's all you can also still find it, but
Maybe I will search that up later.
yeah,
we
but
should-
there
we should
are
put it
no
in the
video.
show
The
notes then.
videos are offline. I know that.
Ah.
I know that for sure. But I think the very first review I did on that channel was for a Sliver Gang deck, and it was a deck from the Ukraine or Russia, I think. And I know it was super thin, super flat, and super lightweight.
So basically what you write, what a lot of people write today.
Yes. But back in the days, I was like,
Mhm.
bro, how can you actually make that? It makes no sense to me.
Yeah, I can imagine that feeling. And do you have like a favorite thing to review? Like do you like specific brands, or what gets you hyped when people hit you up to write a review?
When the product sticks out of the mass, I guess that makes me excited. I mean, there are so many companies out there which are actually pretty good, but to stick out of the mass is quite hard and complicated. So yeah, it's different. So I'm actually quite tired of reviewing fingerboard tape, because reviewing rip tape, for example, I mean, some of you might read my last review about this FatBep tape.
The gray, red, white one,
Yes,
gray,
and
red, black. Yeah.
It was not that nice.
Well, it looked good.
It
The white one,
it
looked
really
good.
bummed me out to read that because I was like, oh, finally we get some colored tape that is actually writable.
Okay.
But yeah,
I,
But then
would,
it wasn't.
I actually found the first review I did on my main channel. It was 7 years ago, and it was on the X Kingpins from FBS. Do you
7 years
remember
ago.
that?
I have no idea.
no, I think we
Those-
both weren't around in that part of the scene or in that time.
Yeah. What
They
is
were,
it?
Just a Kingpin for tech trucks with a Phillips screw head.
Ah, okay.
Oh.
It was actually, for me, back in the days, it was a total game changer.
Yeah,
because
I can
It's
imagine.
like the dynamic trucks have now, right? Where they
Yeah,
have this
yeah,
inverted
yeah.
thing and then you screw
Yeah.
it in. Back then on tech trucks. Man,
7 years ago. Bam.
Crazy.
wow. What do you think about the progression of the overall fingerboard technology, the products, the trucks? I mean, they changed a lot. And I guess
mean-
you have seen a lot in these 10
It's-
years.
I mean, we both started with 27mm decks, so
yeah,
I
cheap,
think
cheap crappy plastic.
I think it's insane, especially when you take a look on. I think. Yeah, progression is some sort of a thing. There's progression I like to see. Some stuff I don't like to see. For example, this hype with the fingerboard decks get wider and wider and wider. I mean,
yeah, there's a
should
point.
there should be a cut at a certain point. But for example, my very first bearing wheels back in the days, I think when somebody would pass me these ones, even when they knew, nowadays to me, I think I would just throw them away or something like this.
Why is that?
I mean, I also have like one of the very first sets of oak wheels back home.
Ooh, as an oak wheel fan, I'm interested.
And bro, that's like a serious other world because they're egging so hard. The wheel's also so slim. I mean, it's just weird. But they're still usable, so I'm glad. I also have the very first version of Y trucks back home.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. They are also quite thick. Let's call it like this. And yeah, still got my very first Black River trucks with the Black River base plate 1.0. So yeah, I think, for example, for the Black River trucks, I think the progression is good, but it took a bit too long. For example, with the 34.
Yeah, those took way too long. And aren't long enough.
But overall, I think we are actually in a quite nice time of fingerboarding because everything you can imagine is there right now.
Yeah, also, as someone from the old days, it's really cool to see what Instagram and other social medias brought to the scene. I mean, sometimes it can be a bit annoying, or you can see stuff that you're like, why are people hyping this up? But I think it's just much cooler to see what other people are doing, especially people from the other side of the world, when you most of the time standing alone in your room and fingerboard.
Yeah, but some Instagram clips could be skipped. I mean, there's so much stuff on there where I think, why did you upload
Yeah, that's
that?
true, that's true.
Why?
But to be honest, back in the days when YouTube was the dedicated platform for fingerboarding, I think back in the days there was also so much crap on YouTube. I mean,
Yeah.
it's not different. I think now it's just more focused because when you follow somebody who's fingerboarding on Instagram and you have more fingerboarders on Instagram, the algorithm also shows you only fingerboarders, so you get like the whole Yeah.
package.
Yeah, at
whole
a certain
package.
point there's, like, most people in the scene follow the same, like, 500 people, I think.
Yeah, pretty
And-
much. You got your
yeah,
close
like-
circle and
Yeah, like, everyone follows everyone.
Okay, quick question. How many people you follow on Instagram? Let's find that out. So I'm following.
I follow that many actually. I just follow 200 and something.
Yeah, I think me too.
I'm following 553.
Right, I got 294, so I don't follow that many people.
I have 475, so I follow a lot of people.
Me too.
I only follow people that really hype me. You know, I don't click follow on every person. It has to be a very interesting Instagram account. And
But I have to admit, when I press the follow button, I'm quite loyal. So when
me
you
too.
earn my fellowship, I will stay there.
yeah, same here. I just cleaned up my Instagram follows the other day of a few friends. Sorry if I'm not following you anymore. We were just friends digitally, and that's why I don't follow you anymore. But the fingerboarding scene, I hit follow, and that's why I stay. So
I
Loyalty.
unfollowed one guy, and I even told him personally why I unfollowed. But that was like very unusual for me.
that must have been hard. If you tell him personally why you unfollow him, and someday we will go into that story.
It was just a couple of days ago. Yeah. One thing that I think could be a bit better with the whole Instagram thing is that back in the day I was really hyped to see basically full-length video parts, and that has basically disappeared. Like, a few people still do like a few minute video edits just by themselves, but to have like a 10 to 20 minute video part, that is something I would really like to see. And yeah. But another question for you. I know that you do something with filming. How did it take did it take a while for you to combine hobby like fingerboarding with video editing or filmmaking, or did one lead to the other? Or
I would say one lead to the other. So when I started fingerboarding, I also realized that this video or videography is one big thing, also taking pictures and stuff. And so back in the days I bought a cheap shitty camera with a bad fisheye and stuff and started to record every shit, and basically just got into that like that. And so it actually took me a while to realize that I want to make my passion to a job, but it didn't took me long to realize that my hobby came from fingerboarding. So yes, like the videography stuff. I would also say that fingerboarding helped me a lot in that way, because when you don't have a hobby like that, you don't just set up lights and stuff just to figure out how something looks. So you basically just Google and read tutorials. But when you actually, I don't know, like think about, okay, how can I put the lighting so the obstacle looks nice or the fingerboard looks nice, and take pictures. You basically do practice work. So I think that helped me a lot. So
cool.
Is there something, a tip, a hint for everybody out there that you could give filming wise? Is there something on Instagram that makes you cringe and say, oh God, you should have done that differently?
Or like, why is everybody doing this thing?
So any tip would be appreciated.
Oh, that's a hard one. It depends on what you like, I guess. If you want to have a clean look, go for it and have a clean look. If you want to have a super close fisheye skateboarding look, do that. I'm quite tired of seeing super sketchy fingerboard tricks on Instagram and they called clean and stuff. Or I think Bueno will know what I want to point out. So yeah,
I think I also know what you mean.
Because back in the days on YouTube it was more like when you land a trick sketchy, in the comments somebody would write, yo, this trick was sketchy, and nobody does that on Instagram. I missed that somehow. But if I have any tips, just go for it and film, edit, just go and do something, because only when you do something, that's progression. You never lose when you try something.
Yeah, you can always learn. That's very deep, man.
Yeah, it is. I would say we just jump into the rapid fire questions. So I'm just gonna start. What is your favorite wheel?
Oak wheels.
Favorite deck or shape?
Berlinwood low.
Favorite trick in flat?
Tri-flip or backside kickflip?
Obstacle, favorite trick?
Tri-flip nose grind.
Favorite obstacle?
Can it be a rail as well? than the
sure.
L rail, I guess.
All right. Outdoor or indoor? What do you prefer?
Indoor.
What's your Instagram name?
Onkel_Urban.
Concrete or wood as a surface?
Concrete.
Loose or tight trucks?
Loose.
Oh,
Switch
God.
or regular?
Switch.
Flat ground with excuse me. Flat ground with an obstacle or a full park? What do you prefer?
Ooh. Both?
Nollie or fakie?
Nollie till you make it.
Ramen or burger?
Burger.
Really? Heel flip or kick flip?
Kickflip.
Favorite fingerboarder?
Lucas Bellaguarda.
All right, we already had a first contest.
My first contest?
Yeah.
Wikinger Cup in Flensburg, 2009. Yeah.
Ooh.
32 or 34 millimeter millimeter decks?
Right now I would say something in between, 33.
I'm with you on that one. Last trick learned?
Last trick learned. Ooh.
Or something that you landed? Okay, next one.
I don't know.
What's
He
the
doesn't learn anymore.
What's your most hated trick?
Switch hard flip.
I
Or
like that
impossibles. Or impossibles.
I like them as well. Fingerboard sober or drunk?
Sober.
Tucked or stretched? How do you ride?
Tucked or stretch?
The
The fingers you
That seems
aren't
to be a
using.
thing. Everybody's tucked and stuff.
I don't know.
Yeah, perfect. I'm a mixture of both. Oh yeah, how's your filming like? Close? Do you like close filming or far away? Like that you see everything.
A mixture of both?
And do you have sponsors?
Yeah, I have one sponsor actually. I actually have two. I can announce that here. if you
Cool.
want to.
Then go for it.
Go ahead.
One sponsor is South of Bushing still, even though the company had a break and stuff. And recently I talked to Kata from the Fingerboard store. And I went full nuts and just asked her if she would like to sponsor my reviews. Not myself, but the reviews, because when I write a review about a deck, I need tape. And yeah, she's down for it, and I'm waiting for that. So FBS is sponsoring the Urban Talks reviews now.
Nice.
Nice. What would your dream sponsor be?
Microsoft? Something with a shitload of money?
Oh, they would make killer decks though. They would
I
break
mean, like-
easily and crash.
I mean, like, imagine that, OnkelUrban is sponsored by Microsoft. I edited this video on Microsoft Windows 10.
And I wrote the text with.
Microsoft Word.
Yeah.
This is
Or-
not a Microsoft advertisement, by the way,
Or
guys.
Macintosh, or Apple would be nice. Having a new MacBook Pro.
What's your favorite Instagram follow? Like that you follow?
That I follow?
Yeah.
Can be anything, really.
Oh, that's a hard one. I actually enjoy the Asi Shop a lot. And also... No, just leave it there.
Why we put that into the video description. We can all follow the Asi Shop.
And the last one, what is your favorite overall company?
Microsoft, I guess.
I think it's Oak Wheels, or Oak in general, and Flint. Simply because I'm so friended with them. So I mean, like, I go to Portugal since 3 or 4 years now, and I enjoy it a lot. That's my phone. It's alright.
Yeah, should have
And yeah.
muted. Happens.
Yeah, that was it for the rapid fire. Let's jump into a small news section. We actually have a few things that happened since the last recording. One thing, the new flat face J4 wheels came out that are basically a mix between the material from the J. Linehan wheels, which a few people love like to a ridiculous level, and also the G4 wheels. Yeah. Have you tried the J. Linehan wheels yet?
Yeah. I think that's I have a certain feeling to flat face. It's not like that I don't like the wheels, but I'm more into grippy wheels. But I think the J wheel is like the best compromise.
Yeah, compromise.
Yeah. So I actually think about to buy them, but I'm not so sure about that.
The same here. I tried them on Julian's board, our last week's guest, and they are grippier than the normal flat face wheels I'm used to. And I'm also a guy who likes it grippy, so oak wheels all the time. But the Linehans, they are interesting. Like I could really imagine getting them as well.
Yeah, I'm really into very slick wheels, so maybe I will buy them in the future, but right now I have enough stuff. Also, Redemption just basically relaunched their fingerboard line, or a little, quite a lot of it. And yeah, do you have? I think you know a bit more about that than we do.
I don't know so much more about the wheels, but I know that what's his name again? Jordan? No.
I think it's Jordan. Yeah.
I actually don't know.
Let's call him
never
Jordan
mind.
for
Yeah,
now.
but I know that he's going full boost on fingerboarding too. I actually enjoy that he's doing so much stuff, and yeah, I know he told me in the private chat that we can look forward to the year 2019 and for fingerboard trucks from Redemption fingerboards.
Interesting.
Because I just poked into that hole and he was like, "Yo, I'm planning on doing them and publishing them next
Yeah, and
year."
his new wheels look really cool. Like the old ones looked a bit like very usual, and the new ones have an inner core to them. So it's like a for me they looked a bit related to the cartwheels, and I'm really excited to see them or try them, and yeah, excited for what Redemption is going to do in the future, because he's doing quite a lot, and he also relaunched his website, which I really appreciated, and yeah, cool things coming that way, I think. Also, what I wanted to talk about is the FBUpdates channel on Instagram. I really like that they're doing some community building and trying to highlight people, because I know there are several channels that do like setup of the week or month or whatever, but I really like that they try to do a bit of the history stuff.
Yeah, I totally agree to that. I'm actually quite happy that they don't do this fingerboard or setup of the month shit, because yeah, to be honest, it's mostly some of the collectors who win this, and
Yeah.
for example, I like trashed setups more than a brand new one, because then it looks like somebody actually used it. And yeah, but the FB update is actually an Instagram channel, which I really like. I also recommend to check that out, simply because they actually do what they tell you. So you don't get any certain shit. You get like the overall view. Nobody's pointed out. So usually you see not just one fingerboarder. It's more like 2 or 3, which they pick. And it's more
community focused.
Yeah, more general. It's not so focused on any specific area. So that's good.
And also, since the last recording, Black Friday happened.
Why is
And-
Black Friday always at the end of the month?
Yeah, it's a bit unfortunate of the timing. And there were like tons of companies doing Black Friday sales. Did you guys get any, or did you see any where you were about to get something, or?
Yeah, I ordered a deck at Halloween from DK Fingerboards, and
One of the split plies, or?
No, just a regular. It's a street shape and has a green wooden
Okay.
bottom ply, and I actually was thinking about to buy something else at the Black Friday, but then I thought like, never mind, I already got one. So I'm good.
I'm not really. I didn't do anything though. Like Black Friday just passed me by without buying anything. Again, it was the end of the month, so
Yeah,
I had more months than money on my account, so I couldn't get anything anyway.
I bought a few things. This year Black Friday fell like one day after the 5 lakh birthday sale, which is a sale the 5 lakh owner Bird always does on his birthday, and so from the night from Thursday to Friday I got 3 decks of 5 lakh. I'm really excited to see them arrive. They were quite cheap. And also I got some black cartwheels for myself because I really like how they look and I like the single bearing cartwheels, and yeah, thought I'd pick some up.
Yeah, I'm looking forward for a set of single bearing cartwheels. Also for the DK fingerboard wheels I get sent them.
Yeah, those I've seen him post a bunch of them, but never heard of anyone who used them or anything like that.
You could, you were able to pre-order them. I think the pre-order stopped a few days ago, and he only made one set for himself. But now, I mean, you could pre-order them. They were super cheap, and he was like, yeah, he goes for it for tests and stuff.
Yeah. Do you know, or have you heard something about the dirty fingerboard wheels?
Yeah.
Have you an opinion about that?
No, I haven't tested them yet, but they
Okay.
look well made, I would say. I don't
Yeah.
like the shape and the egoism of the company, saying like we have the best wheels in the world. but
Okay.
that's another topic, I guess.
Yeah, I think that's just not a very German attitude to have.
Yeah.
Well, we also have oak wheels already, so I mean, like,
Yeah.
we can't claim that.
Yeah, that's true. And have any of you seen the Ruben Young Pro model? Or even ridden it?
And it's sexy as hell. I had it in my hand already, and I didn't ride it because it wasn't my deck, it was Julian's, he didn't put trucks on it. It is a freakishly sexy deck though. I really like it. It's not something you can do tricks with in my opinion. It's not a street board, definitely. More a bowl or sort of fun setup, but the looks of it, it's just sexy. It's got this, how do you call this, razor thing sort of cut out, and a laser cut logo underneath. And
Yeah,
it's
just so people know what we're talking about.
oh yeah.
It's a Pro model from Berlinwood for Ruben Young. And he's basically like a huge fan of mini ramp and bowl and all that stuff. So he has a bit of a old school shape, but like the edges aren't like a regular fingerboard. They're all like they have spines on each side, and they really look weird. But yeah, I can't imagine riding that thing. But I would like to own one and just ride it very occasionally.
Who of you remembers the Grindking trucks that looked like bats? I can't remember the name of them. There was Grindking skateboard trucks, for those of you who skate as well, or skated back in the early 2000s and stuff. There was a truck company called Grindking, and they did trucks that looked a bit like a bat, sort of Batman kind of style-ish, sort of. I have to look up the name and put it in the show description. These trucks as fingerboard trucks would look amazing on Ruben's deck. If only I could remember the name now. I'll put it in the show description, and then you can have a look and just imagine these as fingerboard trucks on that board. That would be awesome.
And also something that is, I think, a bit more important to our local scene. The Asi Shop started to build a new park in the basement. And it's gonna be a huge one. Like, if you know the basement of the Asi Shop, it's basically the same distance or the same size, just on the other side of the wall. Has anyone of you seen like updates on that, or?
Yeah, I was in the ASI shop yesterday, and Harry was there, and he's building the park, and I talked to him, and he dropped a few words, and I was like, yo, that's sick. And I don't know if we are allowed to
Yeah, I would just wait to see how it turns out.
But I mean, Harry is doing it. For those of you guys who don't know that, Harry's also building parks in America with Mike, so even these are awesome.
And he used to do the Harriers
Yeah,
a while back.
I think I will just tell that. He told me he wants to make the surface all out of the Harrier concrete.
Oh,
So I think
yeah.
the whole park will be made out of the Harrier material. And yeah, so I think it will be expensive, but it will be also like super nice.
It will be so worth it. The only thing I cannot imagine right now, knowing that this material will be used, oak wheels are gonna be squeaky as hell on this surface and sticky as hell.
It's alright. It's okay.
It's gonna be fun. This is going to be fun. I'm really looking forward till this park is finished. I've seen a few images, and I've seen a scribble made by Harry, but I have no idea what's going to be or going to happen. I cannot imagine what he got in his mind.
yeah. What I'm really excited to see is I think we will see quite a difference between the old style to build parks and the newer style. Because he also told a few things he's planning to me, and yeah, I think it will be a bit more of a new school approach, and I think the contrast will be quite cool to have like this huge concrete monster on the right one on one side, and this like new school, more streamlined park on the other side.
If that's the case, I can see myself down there.
I will definitely be
time.
down there in the future. Yeah, one last thing before we wrap this up, and there is a contest happening in Russia. It may not be relevant for most people, but for those who live in that area or have access to that area, it's at the 16th of December. I think it's in Moscow, but even though I can read it, I'm quite bad. Oh yeah, it's in Moscow. And yeah, it starts at 11 in the morning, and yeah, if you check that out, please feel free to hit me up and tell me how it was, and yeah, really stoked to see a contest there.
Can you read the address though? Because guys, we have the flyer in front of us. It's all in Russian letters, and I cannot decipher it at all, so I can't tell you where it is. I can't read the address.
I can read it. Please don't be angry if I butcher your language. Olishevnaya, can't think of the number, in Moscow. That's, yeah.
What? We put it in the show description anyway.
Yeah.
It's in Moscow.
Yeah, it's definitely in Moscow.
So that means Moscow. Cool.
Yeah, Moskva. Yeah, so really thanks that you did this with us and that you spent the evening with us. And
No worries.
yeah, it was cool talking to you and to know a bit about you. And yeah, so thank you guys for listening, and we will see you in the future. And bye.
Yep. See you next time. And thanks from my side as well. Bye.